This video is brought to you by Ravenscraft Realty of Northeast Missouri.
Pick up the grain cart, get across the field, and got Eagle there, right there. They were talking a minute ago.
This could be the day that I get to shell some of my own corn. I haven't shelled any of my own corn since like 2018 because I'm not good enough or something. But this is way more cool than cutting beans. Got Jaden in the cart. Dad's running the combine. I might hop in and take over for him for a little while. Look at him up there in the cab. He doesn't have any idea what he's doing. I shelled approximately 0 of my corn yesterday, but the corn in the bottom at the park, it's doing pretty good. It was a good year to have wet-natured bottom ground, being as it was a dry year. Now, on a wet kind of year, may not have worked out so well. But I'm back here in Illinois, the irrigated piece. The 620 is over here. It has the same fuel rail pressure code that we had last year. And in the back seat, I have the filters and the filter wrench. So I'm going to change fuel filters and fuel everything up and make sure that nothing fell off when I was running last night. I finished up at about 12:30. I wanted to make sure that I could get 100 acres done yesterday and probably get 100 acres done today so that tomorrow I can probably finish it up because we got family stuff to do tomorrow, given that it is Thanksgiving weekend. There's a fuel filter back here, right next to the tank. There's also one up on the other side of the engine, and I got the black nitrile gloves to try to keep the diesel off myself, and the special pliers, and I got to unplug this sensor down here. Other than that, I think it's not super hard to change this. My American flag broke off. I need to replace it. I got the ripper all leveled out, fuel filters are changed, and get along pretty good. But this is light nature ground, so it pulls pretty easy. Dad has elected to go corn on corn again at this place. For some of it, this will be the 4th year. Yes, the 4th year of corn on corn, and it's still growing like 220 bushel corn. I think it's average like 218 this year. So that's pretty good corn for corn on corn, and it's sandier natured ground, and well, it's got a pivot on it to help take care of that. But this is a good corn on corn farm. To do corn on corn, you have to control the residue, which is the main object of this ripping operation. Just turn it black is kind of what that amounts to, but not too black because it's light enough that it can blow away. So I'm not running the disc blades as deep as I might in heavier ground. Okay, I'll admit it. This thing's pretty nice. As much as I hated on it before, it's pretty awesome. It's now 10:30 and I forgot my jacket, so it's a little chilly to say the least. But I'm gonna fuel and def up, or I am fueling and defing up, and then I'm gonna go home and do some homework before midnight because it's due at midnight. Oops. So now, I just dropped Dad off at the 520, which is hooked up to the grain cart, and Dad's taking that back home to do an oil change because it's a little overdue. And Rob is about a quarter mile behind me in the 8400, dragging the bulldozer or the blade, and we're coming down here to the bottom on the Stillwell farm so that we can do some finish work. Grandpa moved a bunch of dirt that he had dipped out of the ditches last year. Maybe it was last year. Did a bunch. So now we're gonna do some finish work and make sure things are nice and smooth, and then probably gonna have to rip this ground. As much as I don't enjoy the massive amount of time that takes, sometimes you just have to do it. I've got the old weekend cruiser out. I've been putting some miles on this thing the last couple days. She's a good old truck. Just need to fix the interior. The 9460R, the scraper are down here, as well as soon to be the 8400. This thing sounds so good.
Saturday afternoon, didn't shell today. Doing some maintenance. Tractor needed an oil change, overdue, blew the radiator out, greased up the tracks, drive line, all that good stuff. Be back at it tomorrow. I don't know, maybe 10 days or so left to shelling. So we'll get that knocked out hopefully before too long. Move on to some other stuff.
It's about 20 till 5 and I just now got to the ripper and I have to move the pivot so that I can get to this area south of the pivot. Okay, so we want start reverse. And she should start walking. There's the faithful 92. It'd be a shame if I ran into it with the ripper. It really would be a shame because I like that truck. That's a bit of a hard spot. It's where my man Brian with G5 Ag, he spread lime on this, and that's just where the lime pile happened to be at. Well, that's lovely, wonderful, all the above. We knew that the leak in the timing gear and cover up here was not completely solved, but I didn't know it was that bad. I think I'm gonna quit. Okay, I'm looking at the engine. Do you guys see the problem? Are we seeing the issue here? It rhymes with oil cap and not being there. So we recently had this tractor worked on, replaced the oil pan gasket and one of the timing cover gaskets. I guess there's two of them. And when Side Stricker done this, they changed the oil. Well, I guess, this is partially on me. I should have checked, but also you have to tighten like the cap a little bit more than that. But I have some oil in the back of the 92, and we're gonna put oil in the tractor, go steal a cap from another 9RX that's a Side Stricker, and we're gonna get to work. You know, usually the Side Stricker is closed, and specifically the parts department is closed on Sundays, but I think today they're open. This is a sanctioned action. I'm not just taking this off of Side Stricker's tractor for no reason. Thank you. It's a nice tractor though. I've been running strong since about 10:30-ish. And this part of the field is pretty sandy, since that is the levee and on the other side of it is the Mississippi River. If you're familiar with local and Mississippi River history, in 1993, there's a big flood, and the levee broke in this general neighborhood. And on Google Earth, you can go back to like 1995 and see the massive piles of sand in this field. And it's amazing that it yields as well as it does, given how much of this was covered with sand. But fortunately, that's what the irrigator is for. And this field, or this farm, usually does pretty good with corn. Yep, this is ripping. Fortunately, I'm almost done. Almost. So this is our new John Deere 2660 vertical tillage tool. Yes, I know it looks like a disc, and by definition it is a disc since it has a gang and arbor bolts, but it seems to be doing a pretty nice job. I'll see if I can get a couple rolling shots of this thing in action once we get Justin all fueled up. I put Def in the tractor, and the fuel, well, it was pretty empty. So this tool, you can adjust the pitch and angle and pressure on the blades, pressure of the baskets, this, that, and the other. And it seems to be pretty cool so far, but we haven't used it in the spring yet, so I can't say for sure. But tractor's pretty low on fuel. Fortunately, the Thunder Creek fuel trailer, which I used to hate on a lot, is actually pretty awesome, and it fuels you up pretty quick. The trailer is pretty heavy with 1,100 gallons of diesel and DEF on it. My truck was looked a little bit like the St. Louis Arch earlier. And this is what we're left with. Very, very mellow. There's a little too much bare dirt for my liking, but there's also a lot of winter annuals and such coming on, like this stuff. So we just tore this out. Now I don't have to deal with it in the spring. I got the call, and Dad said fuel up the other combine because we're getting a second corn head. We're in pretty close proximity to our big grain bins on Highway 61, and the corn's not super high yielding, so we'll be able to keep up with 3 trucks, a cart, and 2 combines. So I'm gonna take this combine over to the place we're shelling, and then Dad's gonna calibrate this one and everything, and I'm gonna shell with another machine. Then we're gonna have 60 feet of corn harvesting awesomeness in the field. As a young man, when I rode with my dad in the combine, I heard the whine of the hydrostat, and I thought, man, that's really cool sound. So when I played with my toy tractors, I made the, and one day Mom asked me, she said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "Mom, that's the sound the combine makes." It's funny how things come full circle, though. Here I am.
I'm being watched. Pair of bald eagles up in the tree. Second corn head. We're gonna run 2 here for a couple days. Anyway, got the other machine out. Gonna hook it up, calibrate it. One of them got tired of watching already. Flew away. Again, see eagles a lot. Always pretty cool.
And that field there at the top of the hill is my corn, and we're gonna have it shelled by the end of the day. We're doing end rows on this little itty bitty piece, and Dad and I are actually running like 30 feet away from each other. It's pretty cool. We haven't ran 2 combines in corn for a very, very long time. Man, I hate forgetting to fold the ladder in. Normally, we don't do stuff like this, like moving with a rigid head on, but my farm, it's 25 acres. It's like a quarter of the mile down the road, so it's probably gonna be okay. Now it's been sprinkling for the past half hour, and I can say for sure that shelling corn in the rain is not very fun. Also, shelling 140 bushel corn is not very fun, but it is what it is. Okay, so this is gonna be the end of the video, but also I did buy something tonight. So usually like an M&W oil pan costs like $2,500, but is it possible to buy a tractor for $7,500 with an M&W oil pan on it and then sell the tractor for $7,000 and then have a $500 oil pan? Well, I guess we're going to find out, because that's what I'm going to do. So I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.